So the SCA taught me social skills, and I actually got friends, like real friends, for pretty much the first time in my life. Mm-hmm. And it was through one of them that I found the Burning Man community. So I'm from Las Vegas, born and raised here. And there's an event here in Las Vegas once a month called First Friday. So the first Friday of every month, downtown Arts District, all the artists in town get together and big block party, and bars and clubs would do dance things, and, you know, artists had booths, and it's a great deal of fun. And so, of course, the burners are out because artists. And that's when I met the Burning Man community. And I discovered, I'd heard of Burning Man before through like Travel Channel shows in the late 90s. Mm-hmm. I'd seen them. I knew about Burning Man, but I'm like, oh, cool. Now I have. So me and my then boyfriend get invited to a party. Yay, party. Okay, cool. And the day of the party, he's like, what you got where? I'm like, what you go wear to the party? He's like, you know they're nudists, right? I'm like, what? I mean, I'm not a prude. I've never been a prude, but I didn't necessarily live a sheltered existence. I gave myself a sheltered existence because of my deep, deep, deep social anxiety. You got to remember, I'm only barely over my agoraphobia at this point.
Right.
So I go, and it was awesome. The people there were just so welcoming and so wonderful. That's when I found about the Vegas regional, Southern Nevada regional. But let's face it, Nevada is Reno, Tahoe, and Las Vegas. Southern Nevada is Vegas. So I say Vegas regional, not trying to be exclusionary, but our regional is fantastic. It's never once sold out. It's got this small, homey feel to it. It's big enough that it's got some real freaks and some real art and some real character, but it's not so huge that anyone can't get involved a week beforehand. It's been through a lot of different iterations over the years at a lot of different sites. But yeah, the most recent iteration is called Synergy, SN-RG, Southern Nevada Regional Gathering, and it's at this ranch out in Beatty, Nevada. It's coming up in June. Tickets are going on sale. I think Big E said this Wednesday, but I have to double check that data.
Did you just name drop Big E?
Big E, yeah, he's the one who's in charge of the regional currently, and a friend of mine here in Vegas.
Is that somebody you know, D-Day?
No.
Or did you think that she was referring to Biggie Smalls?
Yes.
You know.
No, not Biggie Smalls.
Dead right.
I know, I keep hoping. I keep hoping it's safe for Pac to come out of hiding. I know I'm dating myself, but still.
No, you're like the same age as me. If the holographic ghost of Biggie Smalls came back to reality and was running the local regional burn, I'd be like, man, we're going to sell out this year. I'm sorry, guys.
What a goddamn party that would be.
Right?
Welcome to Accuracy Third.
I'm Rex.
I'm Beth.
And I'm D-Day.
Hey, there he is.
Today on Accuracy Third, we have an interview from long before the hell world descended upon us in the bright, sunny teens of the 2000s, before the COVIDs. I mean, during the Mad King, yes.
Remember when just the Mad King was the problem?
And tomorrow on Accuracy Third, we have Italian wedding soup. Oh, sorry, wrong show.
I could do the content trigger now.
It's not trigger. It's a content warning.
Yeah. So there is one.
On this episode.
On this episode, content warning for suicide. It is like all the way at the end of the episode. It is after we talk about the Juggalos. We will be talking about the Juggalos. When we talk about the Juggalos, and then we talk about the Salt Flats, you're going to want to skip like 90 seconds into the future. The point is, if you're sad and you need some help, call your local suicide hotline. There are people who are out there that want to help and help you specifically if you need help.
And if you are in Utah, you can leave. There are states to your north, south, east, and west, and we will take you.
PSA, you can leave Utah despite how it feels.
Please leave your badges behind.
Also, if you are at all interested in Juggalos, there's a great, really depressing documentary about them that you can just like go watch. Do you remember what that one was called?
Several of them.
Any of them.
Yeah, Jugsy Juggalos, Cash Money Family.
Do not look up Jugsy Juggalos. And if you do look up Jugsy Juggalos, clear your browser history afterwards. Just do it.
Yeah, why aren't you incognito to begin with if you're Googling? Never Google under your own profile. My God. And we're going to leave that there. So this was a really good, really dense interview. The patrons are fully going to get like an hour and 40 minutes more than this episode because Krissy, much like many of our greatest episodes, brought a fucking list of stories.
I like a well-organized interviewee.
Agreed.
Like when we started losing steam at the end, Rex and I are like, we're hitting 2 hours here. It's time to wrap it up. She's just like, oh, but I have 5 things left on my list. And then we talked about those 5 things. And some of those stories were gold and made it into the episode. And other stories were also gold, but we were a little sloppy at interviewing, as we are wont to be.
After the 2-hour mark.
Yeah, if you're thinking of coming and interviewing with us, notes are good.
Yeah, the first 35 minutes, kind of a shit show.
Rex and D-Day are exhausting, and they'll get you entirely too stoned if you don't pay attention.
Yeah, last 20 minutes, real stoned, also kind of tired. Could use a popsicle and a nap.
So come prepared. This'll be a nice casual fight over trying to stay focused.
I wonder if...
Do you guys both take your meds on days that you're doing interviews?
Well, I didn't today. I've been painting since I woke up. I've been sad lately. Why would I take my meds? It seems counterproductive. I mean, I'm already taking antibiotics and occasional painkillers. It seems like throwing ADHD meds on top of that, like, that's a bit much for mostly sitting on the couch and drinking soup.
I wonder if future accuracy third scholar, whoever they may be, would be
Jimmy
able to...
Dean Jr. the third.
I wonder if unnamed future, probably non-existent accuracy third scholar would be able to comb through our back catalog of recordings and pinpoint the exact time that D-Day and I both got on consistent ADHD medication.
Never-ending season 5!
Man, season 6 is going to be so tight.
I definitely think it doesn't take that much of a scholar to figure out where D-Day's marriage is dissolving.
Yeah, that's the truth. I will say that the ADHD meds make organizing the audio while I am editing so much easier. Keeping track of that shit when I was like hard ADHD was quite difficult.
Do you guys know that makes all 3 of us neurally diverse?
Yeah.
We're all neurodivergent.
I don't think there was
Any
much
doubt
of a question
whatsoever.
about that. Yeah.
I just found out that I was neurally divergent. I didn't know dyslexia was neurodivergency. I just thought it was just like...
You're face blind.
Well, that's...
Lead with the fact that you don't recognize people.
But I do recognize people. I just don't recognize faces out of context very easily.
Yeah.
That's a solid neurodivergence.
Is it really? I never thought about that.
Your voice is neurodivergent. That's Jesus.
I never thought of myself as neurodivergent until my diagnosis. I thought I was just alienated.
This is good. This is very on theme, guys. Like we were going to talk about our poor social skills and how we got them and how we made them better.
I have good social skills. You know what being face blind does? It allows you to be very socially receptive until you figure out who the fuck you're talking to. That takes extreme skills to talk to someone enough to figure out, wait, which person is this? Where are they from? Oh, right. This is Rachel from 5 years ago. I worked on that dance piece with her. That takes skill.
I mean, I'm skilled at figuring out where I am in a conversation by context clues, but that doesn't mean that I'm personable.
No one has ever accused you of being personable.
Oh, but I want to be liked so much. But I don't care what you think.
I'm sorry. What? Who are we talking about today? Who are we talking about?
We're talking about Krissy and how social skills outside of Burning Man can also be difficult inside Burning Man, but also may be able to show you a way through your difficult social skills. Right?
Yes.
That certainly sounds like an episode I would give a minute or two of listening to before clicking away.
Well, listeners, I hope you enjoy the next 1.5 to 2 minutes.
So way back in time. Insert shitty origin story here. I am in my very early 20s, agoraphobic mess of a human who's never learned any social skills. Yay! I met up with someone who I made friends with online, who introduced me to my next door neighbor, who introduced me to the Society for Creative Anachronism, who taught me social skills.
Oh. You come to us from the ACA.
SCA.
SCA, yes, the West Coast nerds, as you were.
I've always been super fascinated by the division between SCA folk and Ren Fair folk.
Oh, yeah, because there's such a division. They are not the same thing at all.
Not at all.
And they will tell you very vehemently that they are not the same thing. But they'll go to the same events.
They just go to the same events with a certain rigidity of thought.
Well, Ren Fair is a show for tourists, and SCA is more of its own thing. I mean, other people can come to our events, but we're not going to put a show on for them the same way that Ren Fair does.
No, SCA is like...
We recreate specific people in history.
It's like pre-LARPing LARPing.
Oh, yeah, no, it's absolutely pre-1600 LARP. I became Emmeline Dernlove. I live in 14th century England because that's when all of the greatest hats in the world began. Oh, man, I have an obsession with hats. I actually have my playa hat here with me.
Ooh, you have a playa hat? I have a playa hat. What's your playa hat?
Oh, my God, it's the most fabulous thing in the world. It started out the very first year I went to the Big Burn, which is, I think, 2006 or 2007. I got this just crappy straw hat from a gas station, which promptly fell off my head. And then I went to the Billion Bunny March, and they gave me bunny ears, so I cut holes in the top of my hat, and I shoved the bunny ears in to hold it onto my head, but then just flew off the bunny ears. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so then I put these, like, cyber dread things and to hold the whole thing to my head. Now it's laying on my head. And then I've since added like L-wire and buttons and goggles. My hat now has its own hat. It's
nice.
A thing of epic beauty. And the original crappy straw hat from a million years ago is still the base of it.
That's great. Yeah, my mom gave me like a little mini fedora that was woven out of a bunch of different colors of like straw that I never would have worn. Except for the fact that, like, you put enough rivets into it, it's not going to come off your head when the wind blows. And you can just put a headlight on there and some other lights and, you know, little decorations. And you got yourself a playa hat going.
Man, playa hats are the best thing. I love hats, first of all. I have an entire hat room.
You have a hat room?
In my old house. So at the moment, I'm like in the middle of a huge move. So my old house, we had the spare bedroom. And in this spare bedroom, we had a whole bunch of bookcases, and those bookcases were lined with hats. I have dozens of hats. I just collect them via all kinds of ways. A lot of them, most of them are secondhand.
Nice.
It brings me such joy. A lot of them are recreations of historic hats. I have this huge butterfly hennin from the 15th century. Oh, man, this thing is like a foot tall, and it goes with a gown that is gigantic and has a train that's like 2 feet behind me, lined in fur. This thing is a statement. I built the dress just so I could build the hat. Oh my God. 15th century Burgundian, that their garb was something else entirely.
Nice.
So here I am. I am trying to figure out who I am as a person. And I have Emmeline, who's my SCA persona, and she's very conservative, very by the rules, very strict. This is how world works. And then I have Ribbons. And Ribbons is this huge, bold, wild, I can be whatever I want to be because that's what Burning Man encourages me to be. I mean, everyone hates on the principle of radical inclusion, but I credit the principle of radical inclusion with allowing me to be who I am today and be part of Burning Man, because if it wasn't for the radical inclusion part, I would have felt too terrified to even try and join the community. Because who am I to join? I don't belong here. I don't know how to interact here, but they taught me how to interact here. It was radical inclusion and radical self-expression that, man, those made me who I am. They gave me permission to just go nuts. It was awesome.
I'm stunned that people are flip about radical inclusion. It seems like an incredibly important aspect of the culture to me.
I think people are flip about it because it's what is allowing the turnkey douchebags to show up.
Sure.
People are saying turnkey douchebags belong there because radical inclusion, we include everyone. No, but that's a whole other debate and a whole different story.
It's just super important to parse it as everybody is invited to come to the party, but everybody is expected to onboard the culture if they come to the party. And turnkey camps, they can come, but they have to do the thing. They can't just come and look at the thing.
The other 9 principles exist for a reason. Follow all 10, please.
There's a potential there for real positive cultural repercussions if we're booting people for not following the principle and demonstrating that you really have to be part of the culture. That just having privilege isn't enough to get you in the door. Maybe they'll change their minds.
I hope so. Because people like me, I'm just Joe Burner. I'm not anyone special. I mean, I'm special. My mom thinks I'm special. My cats think I'm special, but I'm just Joe Burner. I'm not on staff. I'm not, I don't want any of the org. I don't get my ticket comped or reduced each year. I participate and I go and I do the thing and I bring the thing and all that, but you need Joe Burner, average middle class / lower income human to make the event who it is.
Yeah, Joe Burner is Burning Man.
Yeah.
Joe and Jolene Burner, please.
Non-just gender-specific Joe Burner.
Yeah, Joe is a unisex name. Remember Facts of Life?
No. I didn't have TV then. And if I did have TV, it wasn't on CBS or PBS. So tell us,
okay,
Krissy, more about your Krissiness.
Krissiness. So I went for many years. I had Emmeline and I had Ribbons, and they were 2 very polar opposite ends of who I was as I was going through the process of figuring out who I was and who I wanted to be and how this whole thing worked and how to become one person. I really was more than one person. I was a different person in the SCA as I was at Burning Man, as I was at work, as I was with my family, as I was with et cetera, et cetera. And I had to actually put a lot of work into becoming one person, into learning that it's okay to let the bigger parts of my personality out at SCA events, or that it's okay to be reserved and quiet and play by the rules at Burning Man, or it's okay to bring both of these into just my day-to-day personality with my coworkers or whatever. And so I eliminated other names. I am Krissy because I can't deal with being more than one person anymore. I have to be the one person that I am.
Well, Krissy, welcome to Accuracy Third. Thanks for calling in.
Thanks for having me.
Accuracy Third, where a person can be a person and should.
Curious, when you were putting on your persona for SCA, did it feel more performative than your self-expression at the event, or were they very similar feeling to you?
They were similar feeling because, so for context, I never really learned any social skills growing up. I was that child who was rejected by her peers from a very young age. I was the kid who got beat up in the schoolyard from like 2nd grade forward. So I learned that people were to be feared, not trusted. And so I kept everyone at harm's distance. I never really had friends growing up, so I never learned social skills. I learned all those in my 20s. And so everything outside of my bedroom was performative because I had to figure out how it worked. It was very, very terrifying. Very, very terrifying and very new. But I'm a giant extrovert, like I always have been at heart, so it was very hard myself days. I don't know how to prescribe it. I would find community and I would find inclusion on the internet back in the days of forums, when those still existed in the way they used to exist, and they don't exist that way anymore.
It is. It's just the comments, and people are meaner.
Yeah, people are dicks online. They didn't used to be. I mean, everyone's always been.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
No. People have always been dicks online, but there used to be communities online that were not full of trolls.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It does kind of exist. It's just all kind of been consolidated on Reddit at this point.
Yeah, Reddit's like a message board on every steroid known to man, and then a few from outer realms of the universe.
Yeah, it's rough in its kind of overall culture, but a lot of the individual subreddits have really interesting unified subcultures.
Yeah.
You just have to really edit what you see on Reddit.
Yeah, you have to find the small subreddits, not the giant ones. I love Reddit. It's my favorite website. I
like the difference between the Burning Man subreddit and the Burning Man Facebook page.
Yes.
I was threatened with violence on the Burning Man Facebook page this past week. For just telling a guy he could go fuck himself.
You weren't even on that page. You were on Burner Hacks.
No, Burner Hacks, they shamed me. Burning Man Facebook page. The guy was just like, you wouldn't say that to my face. I was like, I assure you I would.
Oh, that was two different threads?
Yeah.
Oh.
I was just giving helpful advice.
So Las Vegas has their own Burning Man Facebook group. The Las Vegas Burning Man Facebook group, super active, super like where all the knowledge goes to be disseminated to the local community. But man, there is a barrier to entry to that group. Like someone's like, "Hi, I'm new. Come do the thing," and they're like, "Burning Man's closed." So that's 10 years ago. If you read the FAQs, like that's the community's immediate response. But like there's all kinds of like the sticky posts have like every Monday at the Phoenix, Burning Mondays, we always meet there, and the regional stuff is here and the other stuff is here. So as long as you're willing to embrace our crunchy side, we have a softer inner core made of chocolate that's happy.
I'm 100% on board with that. I think everybody should be invited to Burning Man, but everybody should get the line drawn for them upon entry. This is not an easy thing.
No.
You're going to get hazed. You're going to get sunburned. You're going to shit in a stinky box.
Those of us that know better are going to laugh at you. You're funny. Shut up. We've been here for years.
Yeah, I mean, fuck your burn is a comment, or fuck you, Santa. Santa's big in Vegas, man. Santa Rampage in Vegas is a thing with a capital T. We do it twice a year.
It's a rampage down there?
Yeah, that's something.
Jesus.
Oh, man. We do it downtown.
We had a pretty excited saunter.
Man, no, we do it downtown on Fremont Street in a place that's already overrun with tourists, where there's no traffic. It's just tourists, and it's Vegas. So the premise of Vegas is get drunk and party. Now throw 200 and some Santas in the mix, and things get fun.
Yeah, I can see how that would incite a rampage.
That's actually the first time
the running of the Santas,
like Sanarchy, SantaCon, has struck me. That might actually be fun to do in Vegas.
Vegas isn't expensive. We can go on a field trip to Vegas.
Oh my God, Vegas is super cheap.
Yeah, I've been.
Also,
you can eat for like $12 a day.
99-cent shrimp cocktails still exist. $1.99 steak and eggs breakfast.
It's such a disgusting steak and eggs, but I'll eat it.
Dude, this being served at 3 a.m. There's nothing you're going to do at 3 a.m. that's not disgusting.
I don't even smoke anymore, but I will smoke at Vegas when I'm eating my $1.99 steak and eggs all hungover first thing in the morning. Absolutely. I can smoke here and I will.
Oh, smoking is the most satisfyingly dirtbag thing you can do. Having a greasy meal and a cigarette simultaneously, and a cup of bad coffee. That makes you feel you're worth it.
That's home,
like
right?
Right down to your core.
That's my, I was born and raised here, man. That's like, I'm tearing up a bit.
Yeah, no, I gotcha. Yeah, something in Vegas definitely calls out to me.
Well, if you're going to come to a Rampage, summer is, because they do it winter and we do it in the summertime. In the summertime, the costumes get real interesting because it's 100 and fuck you degrees outside. So a lot of people, they like, no, they commit to full Santa. And a lot of people, they're like, no, we're sexy Santa, we're slutty Santa, we're like cyborg Santa, we're alien Santa. Like, they take the theme and they run with it, and the costumes get incredible.
Oh, I would 100% have to do like tourist Santa in like cargo shorts with fur trim, a Hawaiian shirt, and a big white beard, and a bad sunburn.
Yeah.
Just like bright red.
Dude, someone at the last Rampage did Hunter S. Thompson Santa, and I think that wins for my favorite that I've ever seen in all the years I've been doing it.
That's a pretty good Santa.
But yeah, no, fuck you Santa is a thing that you'll hear around the Vegas community just year round. Fuck you Santa.
That is
because
charming.
Santa's a thing here. So a couple of weeks ago, listening to the podcast you released a couple of weeks ago, you're talking about tents going flying and about how domes don't go flying in the wind. They do. Domes absolutely go flying. I saw it happen at a regional.
You've seen a full-on dome lift up.
So, one of the theme camps at Early Dark Skies was the Porno Pyro Pirates. This is fun. I love them. They had and the person it was Pirate Ron, who was the leader of that camp. And Ron was like his dream. He built a dome. He built this giant dome. He was so proud of it. This is the Pirate Dome, and this is where his camp was. So Ron is also one of the people who was helping to organize the event, went out before the event, set stuff up, build the city such as it is for our event. And like, well, while we're out there, let's build the dome. So he builds the dome. And it's like the second year it's been in existence, I think. Maybe third, but I want to say second. Because he decided he was going to skin the dome that year to make it shady. Mm-hmm. And so he got this military surplus parachute to skin this dome with. Yeah, you see where this is going. Mm-hmm. So we get out there. This is like before the event's going on. We set up the dome. Put the parachute on, latch it all down, and he failed to stake it down properly. Fast forward, I forget how many days, fast forward an amount of time, and Ron gets this very angry call from Biggie, who's currently out on the playa. The dome hadn't been staked down properly, and as such, Playa is windy. Playa in Southern Nevada is just as windy, and Playa in Northern Nevada. Dust devils happen down here just as the same as they happen up in Black Rock City. It is a harsh environment down here, just the same as it is up there, just at a lower altitude. It's the only difference. And a giant wind gust had come and taken his dome and blown it down the playa, and Biggie had to get in his truck and zoom down the playa, chasing the pirate dome to get this thing to stop. So he caught it. He slashed through the parachute that was causing it to fly down the playa, and just kind of left it there, out in the middle of nowhere. This mangled wreck of metal tubing and most of a parachute. It was the shipwreck. That thing. We called it the shipwreck. And he's like, where am I going to camp? I was going to camp in here. I'm like, well, you could kind of camp in here. Just watch for the jagged metal bits, which are literally everywhere. He's like, there's no roof. I'm like, this is like a 20-foot dome that's been destroyed. There's plenty of space in here. So shit, we totally hung out. We hung out in the jagged, tetanus-filled wreck of the pirate dome, in the shipwreck, we called it. So yeah, make sure you stake your dome down properly. Otherwise, 100% it will go flying down the playa.
Maybe don't use parachutes to skin anything. Parachutes have one design function, and that is to catch wind.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, or at least like cut some air holes in it.
Yeah.
Something like.
Yeah, cut it into diamonds. It'll shade you just as well.
Yeah, the camo netting exists for a reason. It's designed that way for a reason, and it's a glorious thing. Or illuminating nowadays. Back then, illuminating wasn't a thing.
Yeah, Illuminate is pretty great.
Seriously amazing. But yeah, no, the pirate jump was awesome. We would do something in that camp called Pornaoke.
I like it already.
So Pornaoke, what you do is you get a karaoke machine, and you get a video projector, and you project out old school porn. It has to be like 70s porn because you need something with a plot.
Yeah, real serious porn.
Like, back in the glory days of porn when, it wasn't just, oh, hi, fuck. Yeah. It was, oh, hi, dialogue, fuck. So what you do?
Nothing accentuates my masturbation like bad acting.
Oh, man, bad acting is the best.
No. I want to see if these bad actors have to fuck to pay the bills. Don't distract me.
Or these good fuckers have to act to pay the bills.
People would pay money to see that in regular old movie theaters. Think about that. Your parents probably went to the just regular movie theater to watch Deep Throat.
Everybody's parents went to see Deep Throat.
Yep. Just as a regular night with someone else's grandparents, just a movie theater full of people. Normal. Like just Cinemark or whatever.
Yep.
Porn. But either way, so...
Sitting in their juices, pretending to be horrified. Just like a bunch of hypocrites. The baby boomers, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah! They're freaks. This is one of them. They're closet freaks. You be out with your freak. Let your freak side.
What a disappointing generation, guys.
Well, there was so many of them. They had to each work real hard to carve out their little piece of identity.
So either way, Pornaoke is where you have the visuals of the old school porn along with the karaoke machine, and you supply your own dialogue. It's fun. It's horrible. It's even better when you're drunk. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Things are known to be funnier when I am drunk.
So 2012 was a really weird year because that year, a bunch of friends of mine and I brought a bunch of friends to the burn for the very first time that year. We put together a theme camp, Just the Tip Jousting. And, the theme camp was amazing. It went really well. On paper, everything about this burn was just 100% textbook awesome, except for my personal experience for very personal reasons. That was great. So just the tip jousting, we did bicycle jousting. All we did was bicycle jousting. It was daytime only. We were open for 4 hours during the day, and we would give you a jousting lance that was tipped with a jelly dildo, and we put you on bikes with shoddy armor, and you would joust, and the winner got ice cream.
Nice.
That's great. So it was you and how many virgins did this?
Okay, so there was, I think, 12 of us all together. And not all of us were virgins.
What was the virgin
but a
ratio?
Lot of them were. So me, Fish, it was more than half virgins.
That's pretty impressive. A successful theme camp is a hard thing to pull off, period. But with a bunch of virgins,
yes.
that's an accomplishment. Bravo.
What helped was that all of us were friends, longtime friends off playa. So we really knew each other off playa. What everyone wants to do is go party at night and whatever during the day. So we made our camp. Our theme camp was daytime operational only. So we were open during the day. Everyone had to work 4 shifts total throughout the whole burn. A shift was 2 hours, and that was your contribution to the camp. It was a really easy camp to run. You have someone on the street barking for activity, other people sitting there setting people up. fix some of the lances as they got wonky, because they got wonky a lot. And yeah, just bicycle jousting. You on this bike, you on that bike. It's dangerous, and people got some pretty epic dildo burn on their skin, and they got scuffed up on the playa, and it was amazing. And they were fighting for ice cream. Like, literally, that was their prize, was ice cream.
I adore that. That is like so quintessentially Burning Man right there.
Yeah, it was great. We got amazing placement that year. It was a first year camp right there on, like, was it 430, whatever the Keyhole Street is. I think it was 430, right on the corner. It was so great. And the camp went really well. We had a rule in camp. And this rule in camp I love. I think every camp should have this, and everyone should be enforced to follow it. At any time, for any reason whatsoever, you were allowed to look at someone in the camp and tell them to go eat something. At which point, both of you had to go off and eat something, eat real food. Drink some water while you're at it, not beer.
Yeah, that's a good rule to have.
Any arguments that persisted 20 minutes later, we'd address at that point. There were exactly 0 arguments that persisted 20 minutes later. And everyone followed it. Mm-hmm. There are, like, peanut butter crackers, there's sandwiches, there's all kinds of food available. Go fucking eat something. And everyone did, and it was amazing.
That's fucking genius.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And you weren't allowed to get mad about being told to eat something. Because at Burning Man Life, everyone's allowed to have an asshole pass. You're not allowed unlimited asshole passes. You cannot be a dick on the playa 24/7. But the way the playa works, you will eventually become an asshole. Everyone, no matter how much you try and take care of yourself, will turn into an asshole at some point on playa. Just accept that that's your asshole pass. Eat something, drink water, move forward with your life, and be a better human. It's not a judgment. We pounded that into the virgins from before we got onto the playa, and it worked really well.
Pre-event acculturation is so important.
It really is. Yeah, like, I had the nerdiest day ever. I think it was Thursday at the Burn this year. So it started out, there's this camp called Captain Pump's Raiders. And they do gaming and nerdy shit. They're like nerd bar one. They're like nerd camp. They're like capital N. We let our geek flag fly. We're doing D&D. We're doing moth style talks. We're doing, this is what we're doing. We're giant nerds. And they do this thing called RaiderCon. And RaiderCon, you show up and they're doing a whole bunch of homebrew tabletop games or some board games. And you show up and you just join and play. It's a whole day full of games. So my partner and I are super into that kind of thing. We're giant nerds. Like, D&D on the playa? Yes, please. One-off campaigns are awesome. Like, we're not going to get involved with a giant multi-day campaign, but like an afternoon? Sure, we can do an afternoon campaign. And these were homebrew games, so they're even different. It was great fun. So we spent the first half of the day there, and that wound down, so we leave camp. But we're just going to walk down this street. I think it was like G or something. Wandering down the street, and 2 camps down is Ask a Drunken Scientist. And we're like, Ask a Drunken Scientist? This sounds amazing. They're doing a talk. So a neuroscientist is doing a talk about how LSD works on your brain. That sounds fascinating. So we stopped and listened to this neuroscientist talk about how LSD affects your brain. We left there. We go wandering further down the street, and we find the Black Rock Observatory. And there's a talk there. There is this astrophysicist giving the most entertaining talk. I am not an astrophysicist. I'm not a physicist. Like, I am super layperson, but it was so enthralling listening to him talk. So we sat there and listened to his talk about astrophysics. Like, that was amazing. And then we walked further down the street, and there was some random bar. And so we stopped and said hi. And he's like, I'm looking for someone to take a shot of pee.
Wow.
That's not the same thing as the day we've had, but good
That was a
there,
quick
buddy.
left turn, honey. I'm still absorbing that. Whew.
Yeah, that was my day.
My God, like, your tone did not belie the plot twist. Okay, so you came up on this guy.
So it's this bar. It's just some random bar out on like, I don't know, G and 4 p.m. or whatever it was. Just some inner city bar. We wandered over there because he had these little remote control robots on the bar. And I'm like, that looks awesome. And so we go over like poking at the robots. And we're chatting with him. And he's like, apparently he had this empty liquor bottle that someone had peed in. And his goal for the week was to get someone to take a shot of piss from this bottle. That was not me. I did not take a shot of piss. I wished him well, and
It's your burn, dude.
This is Burning Man. I'm sure that at some point during the week he found someone to take a shot glass full of pee, but I was not there to witness it.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, there are lots of Australians there.
I'm going to say, like, within a half an hour of you saying no thank you.
It was still fairly early in the night. It was like dusk. It was around dusk at that point. I wouldn't say within like half an hour, maybe give it a couple of hours. And
A lot of people going home for their sip of pee before they go out tonight.
you know, that's who am I to say you're weird? I pack my own weird stuff for the burn, and if pee's your thing, more power to you.
Yeah, don't yuck my yum drink.
I wish I could have taken a better look to remember if the bottle was like a proper clear yellow pee or if it wasn't like an ugly orange dark pee. I don't remember. But if it was the former, then hey, there really won't be much of a problem with that.
Not as nutrient rich, though. Those are a lot of salts and metals you probably wouldn't have in your body otherwise.
Yeah, it's nature's electrolytes. I've been going since forever, because I've been doing it since 2004. And the way I started with this crowd is, so a friend invited me to a party with a bunch of people I didn't know. It was this other person's social group. I'm friends with all these people in my day. So I found my like amazing core social group at this party. I love them to death. Yay. So I meet this guy at a party in November. I get, go to like see people at different events. I get this phone call from this guy that I met then in like April. He's like, hey, I met you at this party and you seemed awesome. You get a drink. I'm like, sure, let's get a drink. So I meet him for drinks and we start talking and he's like, and we start like talking about all kinds of stuff. And he just out of nowhere mentions about how, he's always wanted to go to Burning Man but never be able to find anyone who wanted to go with him. I'm like, funny you should say that. I've been doing Burning Man for years and years. This gets at 2010. So I've been doing it for like 6 years. I have tickets already. I'm going to Burn this year. You want to come with me and get a ticket? So this was on our very first date.
Whew, wow.
That always turns out real well.
And then you got married.
This was before Burning Man sold out, so you could get a ticket whenever you wanted. So he went out and bought a ticket. And we continued to date, and we were still together come the burn. And that year, actually, I was sick. I was sick leading up to the burn, and it just wasn't going away. So I go to the doctor, and this is the Friday before we're supposed to leave. So we're leaving the next morning because we both have friends up in Reno. We were going to go visit our friend up in Reno before heading to the playa on Monday. And I go to the doctor on Friday, and the doctor's like, "You have pneumonia."
Oh,
I'm like, "I have pneumonia." Yeah, you got pneumonia. That's why you feel so shitty. And I'm like, well, that's inconvenient.
Can I deal with this in 10 days?
So the doctor gives me, an antibiotic, and then he gives me some prescription of codeine for my horrible cough that's not leaving me, and sends me on my way. That night, I find out that I am really, deadly allergic to codeine.
Ooh.
Oh, God.
So, yeah, I took the first dose and I wasn't coughing anymore. It was amazing. I hadn't not coughed in weeks, but my throat was swollen and it was hard to breathe. I'm like, on one hand, I'm not coughing. On the other hand, it's hard to breathe. I'm not entirely sure which one I want to hold on to.
Mm-hmm.
So I got rid of that cough medicine because I didn't want to actually die. And I'm like, as I told my partner, I'm like, so I have pneumonia. And he's like, well, we're not going to Burning Man. I'm like, no, we're totally going to Burning Man. He's like, are you nuts?
They got masks, buddy. Come on, pack the car.
Like, look, no, we were in an RV that year. We were like fancy as shit because his grandparents owned an RV and they totally let us borrow it to go to Burning Man.
Nice.
It was the first year I'd ever done an RV. I'd done a tent every other year.
Did they let you take it back?
We took that RV 3 years in a row.
Nice.
4 years in a row, because he took it in 2013 when I didn't go. We would have taken it again this year, except that we were trying to minimize costs, and so we didn't take it last year. Yeah. I'm like, I've been to Burning Man before. I know how it works. I don't feel like super shitty. Like, I know that I'm sick. And I know that it's pneumonia, but, like, I've been functioning up until now, so let's go to Burning Man anyway. So I totally went to Burning Man with pneumonia.
And you were fine, right?
I didn't die. I'm talking to you today.
I actually had I had a case of pneumonia the week before Burning Man just a few years ago. But, like, once you're on the antibiotics, you're fine in, like, 36 hours. You cough for a couple of weeks, but, like, you're not.
You're going to do that anyway. You're at Burning Man.
Right?
You're not going to breathe at Burning Man, no matter who you are. No matter how healthy you are, breathing at Burning Man is, whatever.
Burning Man is an expectorant.
Yeah, I mean, it's hot and dry and dusty. You're going to be coughing shit out of your lungs all the time. It's probably good for getting that crap out.
It's probably not good for any of us.
No.
It's fine.
Yeah, we're going to have tan lung, like an epidemic of tan lung in 15 years. And the org is going to have to deal with that.
We'll just wander over to the heebie-jeebie healers. They'll fix everything.
Have you or any hippies you known fallen victim to mesothelioma from playa exposure?
I live in Southern Nevada. For me, Burning Man, it's dry, but it's dry back home. I'm used to it. It's actually cooler. It's a good 20 degrees cooler at Burning Man than it is back home. I'm like, oh, it's so nice. Everyone else is like sweating.
It's only 95 today.
Yeah, it's like 115 back home. This is beautiful. Yeah, so it was amazing. I went and I didn't have a lot of stamina because, oxygen is a thing your body requires. And I didn't have enough of it, but I would find yellow bikes as required and make things work. There was only one time out there that something in my lungs went pop and I couldn't breathe real well, and it frightened the hell out of me, but I wasn't by myself at the time, so we worked through it. I'm like, no, it went pop. It terrified me for a minute. I couldn't breathe deeply for a while, but I can breathe deeply now, and I haven't died. The ticket says on the back you might die. I might die. I knew what I was getting in for. It. Whatever, it works. So yeah, I survived that year.
And it sounds like your bad choice relationship survived for at least a couple of years.
It did. It actually survived for a while. The year of the amazingly successful theme camp, where he was being the biggest asshole douchebag I've ever met in ways that I'm not going to go into detail with you guys. Just suffice to say, it was not a pretty scene. He was really, really, really not treating me well during that burn. But I didn't want to ruin the burn for all my friends. I knew I had a bunch of virgins, and I didn't want to be the one to cause drama, so I just quietly sucked it up and dealt and didn't acknowledge what was going on so that I wouldn't cause chaos amongst everyone else in the camp. And that was what caused me to just rage quit Burning Man right afterwards. I didn't go in 2013, and I wasn't going to go again, except that I was basically gifted a burn in 2014. I had a ticket handed to me 2 weeks before the burn. No, this is yours. You do not owe me any money for it. You are currently unemployed. You have nothing stopping you from going. You're coming to the burn this year. Deal with it. The person who gave me tickets, you can tab this ticket, but if you take this ticket, you're going to camp with Spanky's Wine Bar. And I'm like, I'm down with that 100%. Right. They're awesome humans. So I packed everything I needed into 2 little bins, and off I went to Burning Man. And I think I left camp 3 times. I just stayed in camp the whole time, working the bar, dealing with people in a quiet way behind the bar, just letting the burn come to me. And it was the most cathartic year ever. It just reset everything because I wasn't dealing with the larger anything. My responsibility was to stay here and work this bar and then do what I wanted, and I wanted to stay there and work that bar, so I just did. I'm sure that a lot of people were really happy because they didn't have to do a lot of work and they could kind of coast while I worked.
I want to point something out, which is that you led this off with saying how you're just Joe Burner and you don't volunteer, you don't have a staff job, but the stories you've already told us are about jumping in with both feet to help organize your local regional and finding your ideal burn again by spending all day volunteering your bartending services at a public wine bar. It really doesn't matter if you've got a laminate or a radio. If you're like contributing to the experience of the city, that's the fucking magic of Burning Man.
It feels different because I'm not volunteering for the burn, capital B. I'm volunteering in my way, in the things that make the burn work. And I don't know.
The burn isn't the burn without Spanky's Wine Bar.
I know. Yeah, and I've built a theme camp. I've been with Spanky's Wine Bar. I've been with Playfully Yours multiple years. That's who I was with last year. In 2018 was with Playfully Yours. That's who I'd be with this year if I could afford to go.
Tell us about Playfully Yours.
The very first year I went to the Big Burn. This is where I was. The very first year I went to the Big Burn, which I think was 2007. It was going to be me and my best friend at the time, Brian. No romantic engagement, just me and my best friend. And we were going to go, and we were just going to camp out in the burbs by ourselves, and it was going to be awesome. And that's how it's going to work. Fast forward to like the month leading up to the burn. I think it was a few weeks before we were supposed to leave. And him and I had this huge falling out. His girlfriend at the time got super jealous of me and made him decide it's fucking me or her. It's me or your friend. And he chose her.
Yuck.
Yeah. Well, we were all like early 20 shitheads who didn't know how life worked back then. So, it happens. So I'm like, I'm still going to go to Burning Man. Fuck him. Like he can diss me all he wants. I'm still going to go to Burning Man. I have a ticket. I'm going to go. Fuck him. So I went. He was actually camped with other friends of mine, and I ran into him at the burn. I was camped with the contraptionists that year because I just basically went onto the Vegas email list. I'm like, hey, Vegas, I'm going to the burn this year. I'm going solo. I would rather not camp by myself. I want someone to miss me if I don't turn up for 3 days. Does anyone have space, or just want me that I can camp with? I get adopted by the contraptionists. It was fun. And I ran into my friend, and, of course, we're mutual friends with a bunch of people. And it was Mason Dave. I mean, R.I.P. He has since passed on. He was like a second father to me. He was an older man. Had been burning since fuck knows when. He's been doing this forever. And he basically brokered a peace for everyone. Like, it was me and him and Brian and some other friends who were all, together in this circle. And I became really close with Mason Dave that year. And he's the one, he would camp with the Playfully Yours. He'd camp with Playfully Yours. It was him and his old military buddies who ran that camp. And so that's how I got hooked up with those guys. And this was before I even came out as kinky. This is when I was vanilla as shit because I didn't know any better. I'm like, I barely have social skills. I'm not going to worry about my sexual skills.
So Playfully Yours is a kink camp.
Playfully Yours is 100% a kink camp. They're BDSM 101. They bring out a full dungeon and they teach you how to use it. So what happens when you go to Playfully Yours, you're greeted at the camp, and you can hang out. Anyone can hang out in the bar, and they have the wheel you can spin, and you can there's some really low key kinky stuff out front, like the spankings, or we can put you up in the cuffs to the chain, or we could put you in this cage, real low key kind of stuff. And of course, booze to make it. No, you can't play drunk, but sometimes you just need a shot to get past your inhibitions, so you're not drunk, but you're just okay, I can do this. And if you want to go into the dungeon, we have toys that are available, and we will teach you how to use everything in our dungeon. And we have a one-on-one DM with dungeon monitor with you to teach you how to use the things. If you have a partner or not, if you bring up your own partner, we'll teach you how to use it on the person you're with. If you're solo, we will do the things to you to teach you how they work. And there's nothing we have, we don't have really big, scary toys that can actively harm you. So if you fuck up real bad with a flogger, you're not really doing much damage. You're really not.
No, you're maybe leaving a welt.
Maybe, yeah. So we have a couple of paddles. We have some, floggers. We have some like bunny skins. We have a Wartenberg wheel, which is that little spiky wheel that you can like roll across someone's skin and it feels interesting. Things like that. If you want to try, we'll teach you. And so you come in and we teach you how to use the things. And we teach you what it's supposed to feel like. And we introduce you to dungeon safety, how safe words work. It's real 101. We don't allow hard play in our dungeon. It's a way of introducing people in a very safe, moderated way. And you get a little exhibitionist thrill because, we're in the red light district, of course. And so people walking by can look into the dungeon and see you, up against the cross, getting whipped or whatever. Or not whipped, but getting flogged. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's how it worked. That's what I did. I was a dungeon monitor, and so I'd spent a couple of nights. I spent my Friday night at the burn in the dungeon there.
I bet it was a great place to be.
It was. Okay, so my friend Fish, we brought him for the first time to Burning Man in 2011. And then he came back in 2012.
Was he already called Fish before you brought him to Burning Man?
Yes.
Was he into fish?
No, not like hippie fish, like FISH, not PHISH.
Right, but did he like PHISH?
He's not a hippie.
Cool, then I don't know that guy.
No, you don't know that guy. He wrote a textbook when he was like 19 years old. He wrote a math textbook.
Was it about fish?
No, it was about like high-level mathematics, and he's one of the smartest humans I've ever met. I love this man to death. He's also a real weirdo, and I love it. He gets into his head that he wants to build an ice cream truck. He wants to build the Dubstep Ice Cream Truck, and we're going to bring it to Burning Man. I'm like, okay, fine with that. And so he submits the proposal, the org approves it. It's official, it's on, we're building this thing. So the whole premise of this was it was going to have these very large pixels. It's connected to Xbox Connect. And so what happened, whatever you would do outside of the truck would be mirrored on the truck in these very large, low-resolution pixels that I soldered thousands upon thousands of soldered connections to make all these LEDs happen in these very large wooden grid. Okay, so we spend all summer building this thing. Like, we find an old ice cream truck that still works, got all the equipment, cool. We build the pixels. Fish is busy writing the programming to make it work. We have everything. It's amazing. We figure out how, we get the food, we research the food service permits so we can actually serve ice cream on the playa. We hook up the sound system, like this whole thing. It's amazing. It's really nice. Other friends of ours were painting the truck with these beautiful, designs where the lights weren't. And it was awesome. Like, this whole thing went together really well. Fast forward to like the day before we're scheduled to leave for the playa. So we had early admission, so we were going to like leave Thursday, get there Friday or Saturday, I forget, whatever it is. So the day before we're supposed to leave for the playa, I get a phone call from Fish. He's like, I'm not going to Burning Man. I'm like, what do you mean you're not going to Burning Man? He's like, I can't go to around. Like, the fuck you're not going to Burning Man? You need to start talking. Turns out the computer that had all of the programming, like the entire program that he'd written to make this thing function, had shit the bed.
Oh.
Now, it's not so much of a matter of he didn't have the code backed up, as a matter of he would have to recreate the entire dev environment around it. It's not just a matter of download code from cloud and you're good. He'd have to rebuild a lot of things, a lot of infrastructure that I frankly don't understand, but it just wasn't possible to do completely in the time we had. He was devastated because he'd spent all this time and effort and energy in making this thing happen. And I'm like, no, look. Maybe the truck can't come to Burning Man. That's fine. We don't have an art car. You are still coming to Burning Man. We will make this work. So we spent the day before we're supposed to leave, we disassembled the ice cream truck. We pulled the freezers out. We pulled the generator out. The pixels were just gone. Like the art was gone. The truck was gone. The 2,000 soldered LEDs were gone.
Oof.
But meanwhile, we had like gallons. We had gallons and gallons. We had these huge 10-gallon things of ice cream, or 5-gallon things of ice cream, just a lot of them. Entire freezers full of ice cream that we were going to serve on Playa. We still brought it. We brought the ice cream. We just disassembled the truck. We put the freezers onto a trailer, like a flatbed trailer kind of thing. And we hooked that up to the RV. We loaded everything on there, and off we went. We just integrated the ice cream into the theme camp, so just the tip. That's why we were giving away ice cream as our prize. That wasn't the original plan, but it was the plan at the end because we had ice cream. We needed to find a way to give it away. And man, people at Burning Man are super motivated about ice cream.
Oh, fuck yeah. Like, free ice cream is pretty great in default. At Burning Man, that's like gold.
It's like 6 problems deep to have ice cream at Burning Man.
And we had a lot of it, and it was well maintained, and we had the food service permit to serve it.
That's a pretty Burning Man story.
It really is. I'm a big fan of fail art at Burning Man.
The most basic level of Burning Man fail art is the fail art that doesn't make it to Playa.
Yeah.
There's something beautiful about getting the acceptance of your transient art out of the way before you even hit Playa.
You come in with it already burned.
Yeah.
You bring the ashes of your art and you dump them at the temple. And that was Krissy.
And that was pretty damn good. Pretty good.
When exactly did this interview happen? I don't know.
In the before times.
I know in the reign of the Mad King, we were already under Trump, but we weren't yet into the Black Plague. But like,
I just think like the least important thing that we talk about is the years that things happen in, and the second least interesting thing that we talk about is the location that things happen in.
I think it's really important whether things are on the 10 o'clock side or the 2 o'clock side and exactly how far in from Esplanade they are so that we can find them when we go back to previous burns.
Personally, what I like the most is people talking for a long time trying to figure out what the road name was that year.
Avalon.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
A.
Krepke.
Is that with a C or a K?
K.
It's with a Q. Streets don't go that far yet.
Crystals or, yeah.
Corporophagia.
It was only... That was really only like relevant stuff before the streets were alphabetical.
Well, there was that one year they did the solar system, right?
There was a solar system. There was the parts of the body. There was the parts of the ship, which was really asinine.
Man, that's mean. Yeah. We should do something like that. It should be like phrenology bumps. Something that nobody fucking knows. And is completely out of alphabetical order.
Great.
I would love to see a Burning Man theme that's like obscure, disproven scientific theories. Just nothing but like phlogiston.
Phrenologist.
Pataphysics.
Oh my God, yes, please. Can we do a shyster year?
Huckster year?
A year that is completely about quackery and hoaxes?
Yeah, that's good. Oh man, we're going to do quackery and all those fucking basic bitches are going to come out with ducks.
That's exactly what's going to happen. It's going to be quackery and it's just ducks from here to there.
That's your challenge, Burning Man. Quackery 2023.
We'll have a colloidal silver station. People can bring us their silver jewelry, and we'll like electrocute it in some water that they can drink.
Oh, love it.
Oh, you could go and get your humors read.
Oh.
We should get some galvanic response meters like the Scientologists use.
Oh, that's right.
And just turn them into humerometers.
And all the astrology camps can remain the same. They don't have to like do anything. What is the non-touching massage? The most Reiki. They can all stay exactly the same. Look, there's work in it for some of us, but some of us are already right there.
You know, a humorology recruiting station on Esplanade is actually not a bad art project.
Yeah, I'll build you a booth. My tolerance for your art projects ends at like me spending more than 3.5 hours building a booth out of scrap wood. I'm down. We can do a bunch of different things in that booth.
It's true.
Yeah.
Booth is pretty good.
Everybody join me on the other side of Esplanade for Fuck Booth.
A booth is a really good invitation. Mm-hmm. Is this the hug booth? It could be.
Yeah.
Anytime.
If
we design it right, we can make a modular booth where you can slot functions in and out.
Oh, God damn it. We are not making this complicated.
That already is longer than 3 hours worth of D-Day's work.
Man, you're talking about hinges and shit? No.
I was just talking about a slot you could drop the frontage.
Oh, yeah, there's going to be a slot.
Yeah.
There's going to be a slot and a hole and like a prong.
Just a prong.
You're talking about 3 hours, now you're talking about a prong?
Fuck, dude, I got a prong out in the shop. I might have too. You don't know. You don't know shit about my prongs. The point is, that was Krissy. Her camp has an exceptional camp rule that everybody's camp should adopt. We went to the trouble of fixating on it a little bit during the interview, but I would like to remind everyone that it is very important for you and your friends and your camp at large to have the mandatory go eat something rule.
Yeah, that's a great rule.
But they double down on it. If you tell somebody that you have to go eat something, you both have to go eat something.
Oh, I love it. Or drink water. I think that's a great one.
Yeah, you don't get to just whip that out to the other person like, okay, let's go eat.
Yeah.
And come back in 5 minutes.
Uh-huh. These are fundamental emotional technologies that you need for Burning Man.
Yeah, that shit saves friendships. It won't save your relationship, but it will save.
It will save your camps.
Nothing will save your relationship if it's falling apart at Burning Man.
Oh, friends.
Steer into the skid.
We really haven't had many stories about people's relationships falling apart at Burning Man.
Not since like season 2 or 3.
I really like those stories.
I think people don't like to tell those stories.
Yeah.
Hey, did you and your ex patch it up because you're both decent people, but really had a spectacular blow up at Burning Man and both willing to come in and talk about it?
Oh my God, no.
Oh yeah, we want that.
We want that so bad. If you've got that, come give us that.
Yeah, give it.
Yeah, you hear that, listeners? That is a distinct call to action. Just like the pros do.
Are you guys really brave? Do you want to help us make it good podcasting? Please come tell us your stories.
And it doesn't have to be about a breakup. If you have other interesting Burning Man stories, or even like just kind of interesting Burning Man stories, we can like polish up in post with lots of sound effects and like drop-ins like we used to do in season 1. We'll totally do that.
Come talk to us. You don't actually have to be brave to talk to us. D-Day and Rex are actually pretty easy to talk to. They've been working on it.
Especially if one or both of us have taken our medication.
Mm-hmm. Come be a part of our social lives.
Yeah. If you are fully vaccinated, you are welcome to come record with us, actually in the studio in sunny Oakland, California.
Or if you're compromised for whatever reason, you can call in, and that compromise can even be by being located somewhere aside from the
Shit,
area.
you can sit outside the door. We'll run a mic under the door, and you can just sit outside.
Yeah, you can enjoy the people going over the speed bump in front of our house at way too fast a speed. It's a treat.
We have all the social medias.
Yeah, like and subscribe to us wherever you can like and subscribe to us. The music in this episode is by Coy Wolf.
I would use Coy Wolf all the time in editing. They're so good.
Yeah.
I like that music a bunch.
It is some young kids, and they're really groovy psychedelic rock. But you know that. You've listened to the episode.
Well, they were young when we got the rights to this music. It's been a minute.
They're
Young
still
is
under
relative.
30.
We got older, they got older. They're still young.
They're still young to us.
If you want to share your music with us, we will credit you and thank you and think that you're awesome for sharing your music. If you share your stories, we will do the same. If you want to support us financially, you can find us on Patreon.
We're about to build a studio.
Extra stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna have a studio that isn't.
It won't flood.
It won't flood. It won't be Rex's bedroom.
Yeah, and by a studio, what do we mean? We mean a tough shed in the backyard. Yeah, it's going to be good. And you can come and record in it.
And you can meet the cats. Or if you follow us on Instagram, where I constantly post pictures of the cats.
Yeah, subscribe to Beth's Instagram. Subscribe to Rex on Twitter. Ignore me on Twitter. And subscribe to our Juggalo Shark Bar Kickstarter. If we get enough money, we are making a Juggalo Shark Bar Kickstarter for Burning Man. We're going to do a Kickstarter for Burning Man. Our art project will be you giving us money for a Burning Man project.
Is that meta-ironic?
No, that's just a grift. Goodbye.
Bye.
I'm like looking at my list. I'm like, I've got most of the way down it.
Yeah, what are you missing?
The Juggalo Bar.
The Juggalo Bar?
Well, let's
Yes.
end with the Juggalo Bar, guys.
So this was at a regional. This was at Element 11. And they had a camp there. It was the Juggalo Bar. And it was exactly what you think it is. It's this bar staffed with juggalos playing Insane Clown Posse at obnoxious volume and just beating juggalos all weekend. It was amazing. It was so much fun. It was stupid amounts of fun out there, and I loved it. And at the end of the weekend, they burned the Juggalo Bar because, of course, they burned the Juggalo Bar at the regional.
You would have to.
You would have to.
You'd have to.
So I'm standing there watching the Juggalo Bar burn, and of course there's Insane Clown Posse music playing, but there's also a bagpiper playing Danny Boy in the background as the Juggalo Bar burns to the ground, and I'm like, I've reached peak Burning Man. I mean,
That's incredible. I'm going to announce
fabulous.
right now that if Juggalo Bar isn't already going to Burning Man in 2019, we will do a fundraiser so we can get Juggalo Bar at Burning Man in 2019.
well, I mean, this was the Salt Lake City regional.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, they got to
That
go
makes
hard.
perfect sense.
Dude, Salt Lake City burners go so hard. They're
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I've been to punk shows there for a week.
Yeah, no, their regionals and their camps, that is top notch. Element 11 is a high class regional. I love the shit out of them.
Is Element 11 salt?
Yes, Element 11 is sodium on the periodic table, and so they're that's how they named it. And they for a long time they held it on the salt flats out there. They used to hold it at this.
Which is so fucking cool.
It was amazing. That site was
It is
awesome.
beautiful out there.
Yes, I love it. I haven't been to their new site because they had to change sites after some dipshit ruined it for everyone by kamikazing into the burn.
Oh,
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, that happened a few years
That
ago.
sucks.
Ruined a lot of. Yeah, they lost their site because of it, and they had to find a new site, which they did find a new site, but I haven't been to that new one yet. But that old site was amazing because it was the salt flats, and the water table there was super high, and there was a scuba diving school there, and there were all of these pools there, and you could go swimming in these pools, and they had fish, they had sharks. You could feed the sharks. It was amazing. What? Yeah.
Just recreational sharks.
Yeah, like they had sharks in
baffling.
these giant pools, and you could feed them because, like, well, when they went out to feed it, they would leave the space open, and anyone who wanted to come could come and watch them feed it, and they would like give you some of it, and you could toss it in and feed the sharks. It was amazing, and they had showers there. It was the best site. Like, that site was top notch. That was amazing.
So if we hit our Kickstarter goal for Juggalo Bar, I'm saying that, like, the add-on is we get a fucking shark for this bar. Am I wrong?
You just gotta warn the juggalos that there's the shark cannot give booze. Do not give booze to the shark. Do not give Faygo to the shark. Do not give anything that's not water and shark food to the shark.
We're not going to keep them from giving Faygo to the shark.
you can't even mention the Faygo because then the idea won't get out of their head.
Yeah, they're going to name the shark Faygo, and then they're going to kill the shark with Faygo.
What we do is we build the shark into the bar.
Yeah. Dude,
Shark
Seal the shark.
Bar top Shark Tank.
Yeah. I love it. I mean, I can't go to the burn in 2019.
We'll have to live stream it. We're going to need evidence of Juggalo
you
Bar.
cannot live stream shit from the burn. I refuse to allow it to be a thing.
That's fair.
I
Okay,
was there.
We'll snapshot it in burst mode.
I want that. I want Juggalos on Playa so bad.
You know they're out there. You just gotta find them.
Yeah, I want them to be a thing. I want to be able to engage with Juggaloism on Playa.
Juggalos and burners got a lot in common. It's just the moop. But, you know.
Yeah, I think there's more meth in Juggalo circles than there is in burner circles. I could be wrong. They just seem like a real methy set.
Yeah, it's true. We'll have to help them adjust their drug of choice. Like, no, you don't bring meth to the playa. Meth and the playa don't mix.
They'll pull you over on the way in now.
Not Fago, water. Not Fago.
No, Fago and water. Cool. You could bring Fago. Fago is an excellent mixer, dude.
You're not wrong.
Fago is too fucking purple to use as a mixer out there.
You don't have to drink the purple Fago.
All of them are that much purple, whether it's red or orange or yellow. Like, they're all as purple as that purple, and you know what I mean.
I would like to counterpoint and be like, no, that purple of Fago is like the epitome of Burning Man. You show up to a bar and you're handed a glass full of purple. They're like, what is it? It's purple.
Yeah, no, you're right. Goddamn Burning Man. Drinking like we're fucking 5-year-olds.
Gatorade and Everclear. Mm-hmm.
These are the reasons I go. And mixers are the best gift you can bring to the playa. You want to bring a gift to the playa? Bring mixers. I guarantee there's not a bar on the playa that'll turn you down. You'll be treated like a god you are when you walk in with 5 gallons of juice.
That is true. Absolutely true. I've never seen a bar run out of liquor before they ran out of mixers.
Yeah.
We have run out of mixers so quickly, I have used beer as a mixer for it. If the party wants to keep going, I will help.
I love a Pilsner Old Fashioned.
I was going to say, there's that dude on that bar I found last year who's got a big old jug of piss for you.
I make my own mixer every morning.
His name is Lukas. Ew, Lukas. Go back to bed. Go on, get back in your tent. Guys, I'm putting my foot down. I am not camping with Lukas again next year.
Why is it slowly getting darker?
Oh my God. If I get dosed with Lukas's piss one more goddamn time, I'm going to stop doing acid entirely.